But it's okay though. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Meet Us in the Ring podcast. Today we're doing a little Q&A. I did a little Q&A poll on my Instagram, so we're gonna answer some of the questions that you guys put down, um, and then I'll let my co-host introduce themselves as always, and then we will answer some of these questions. Feel free to answer the questions along in the comments as well if you guys are watching.
All right, it's me again, Mary the Heel. I'm excited to answer these questions. This is going to be really fun.
What's going on, guys? Maddie at Persephone on TikTok and Twitch. All my social media links are in my link tree in my TikTok bio. And I'm excited for some hot takes today. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be interesting. Also, you guys can follow us on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff on Meet Us in the Ring for all the social media. So you guys want to keep updated with that. Like I said, you guys can feel free to interact in the comments as well when we answer these questions. These are just questions that you guys ask, so we will answer them with our honest opinions. And like I said, you guys can interact as well and answer however you want to answer. So we'll dive into the first question. I guess we start from the top to bottom. We'll start from the top to bottom. So with our first question, pull mine up. We had somebody ask, who are your top 3 favorite WWE female wrestlers right now in the company? So we'll start with Maddie, and then we'll just go up in order. So we'll start with Maddie, see what she says.
My top 3 is obviously number 1, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Shayna Baszler. I think Rhea and Bianca are pretty self-explanatory. Rhea's like at a really great moment in her career with the Judgment Day, challenging Charlotte. Bianca is the second longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. She's been killing it. And I just have bias towards Shayna Baszler. She's I got her shirt on, actually. I didn't even realize. She's amazing. Yeah. So that's my top 3.
Push long overdue, man.
I know.
Mary, who you got?
For me, agreeing with Bianca, she is incredible, and I just love her. And also Liv. I love Liv Morgan, and I know people don't like her, but that's okay. And then Zelina Vega. I think she's super underrated, and she's incredible, and I love her.
Oh, Zelina Vega. That's an interesting one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I haven't seen you talk about her much. I didn't think you were gonna say her. I figured you'd say. I thought you were gonna say like Alexa or something. As far as like Alexa.
I mean, yeah, she's up there, but she's not there right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, she hasn't really done much in the last, I don't know, few years. Honestly, they haven't really done much with her. So my answers are a little bit different, I think, than y'all's. Yeah, Shayna Baszler almost did make mine. I'm not gonna lie. She was close to making mine. She'd be my top 5. Obviously, number 1 is Bayley. Number 2 is Rhea Ripley, and number 3 actually is Sol Ruca from NXT.
I love Sol Ruca.
Wow.
Oh, Soul Snatcher.
She's cracked my top 3. She's definitely like Shayna Baszler would be in there as well, and probably if I had to pick someone, I probably had to say maybe like Dakota Kai or something. I've always liked Dakota Kai.
I mean, if we were including NXT, I didn't know we were, but yeah, I would put Nikita Lyons in my top 5 right now too.
JC Jane.
Nikita Lyons is cool. JC Jane.
JC's my girl. I love her.
I do like JC Jane. I do like Toxic. I like Toxic Attraction in general when they were together. I thought they were going to be a really great faction for the future. But yeah, those are some interesting ones. Let's see if you guys have any ones in the comments. Who would y'all consider NXT stars? So yeah, NXT I would consider. I mean, it's part of the.
Would y'all consider NXT stars? Oh yeah. My favorite in NXT right now is probably JC Jane, but I love Tiffany Stratton. Love Sol Ruca. I'm obsessed with Sol Ruca. She's so fun to watch.
Yeah. JC Jane is cool. Who's the first one to say? You said who? Tiffany Stratton too?
Tiffany Stratton.
I like Tiffany Stratton.
That moonsault, man. Woo.
I do like her. They got a lot of good women down there. Like a lot of potential for the division in the future. You know, a lot of talented people down in that roster. So I like the future and see whatever the brand becomes like later down the road. What about who do you guys think is the best heel of all time, and who's the best heel right now? You guys after that one. Go with you, man. We'll start with you.
As far as who's the best heel right now, I think I would guess I would say Roman Reigns. I mean, I was thinking a little too hard. Maybe in NXT, if we were thinking NXT separately, I'd say Grayson Waller, but I think overall Roman Reigns. And I think the best heel of all time is Randy Orton in his heel era. He was a brutal monster. I loved it.
Randy Orton's that's a good answer. Randy Orton is a menace. He's a menace. I'm not gonna lie. Mary, what about
Girl,
you?
we have the same answers.
No way.
I put Randy Orton. Randy Orton of all time. He is so good. And then Roman Reigns. He's the best heel right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So the best heel right now, obviously, is Roman Reigns. I would say, honestly, Dominic Mysterio's up there, though.
I was thinking
Oh,
that.
he's getting there, yeah.
He's getting there. The best heel of all time, honestly, to me, is Vince McMahon. The greatest heel ever. I mean, easily to hate, the manipulator of manipulators, the boss. Like, Vince McMahon's heel work, he's
Yeah.
natural heel for many reasons, because he's the owner of the company. He's able to abuse his power. Like, he has the control to do anything he wants in the company. Like, how could you not despise this man when he screws your favorites out of the championship, or he, like, all the things that he did? He had a match against his daughter, choked out his daughter in a match. He's done all types of crazy things in the WWE. Like, Vince McMahon is,
Yeah.
he's the greatest heel of all time to me. I don't think anybody can match him when it comes to heel work. Like, you could put him against anybody, and like Rock, Austin, Cena, Shawn, like, he's the ultimate heel against anybody. Like, put him against anybody, he's always the number one heel, I feel like. So
I think Stephanie too. She's so
Yeah.
good as a heel.
Stephanie is, yeah, she's really good too. She's natural like Vince. She's
Yeah,
natural like
yeah.
Vince.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, I've always looked at, like, Shane was the better face because of the things that he does in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, the risk that he puts and the things that he does for his body. It's like, how can I can't do a guy who's going to jump off the Hell in a Cell. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not, it's hard to
Yeah.
hate when somebody does something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like Stephanie is definitely been up there with the heel heat, though. She's definitely up there. Next question: how would you feel about Charlotte breaking her dad's record? How do you guys feel? What would you guys think about that?
I personally don't care. I mean, I feel like, sure, it'll probably happen. I'm sure Rick will push for that to happen. I don't think, like, Charlotte really deserves it. Maybe just because I'm tired of seeing her holding titles. But how do I feel overall? I don't. It doesn't mean anything to me. So I'd prefer her not to be honest.
Bound to happen, I think.
Yeah.
For me, I would understand it if it happens. Doesn't mean I have to like it, because I don't. I mean, if they want to have her match his number, fine. But if she, like, goes one above that, I don't know.
I think for me, like, I don't know. It's just, what's she already at, like 14 right now?
Yeah.
14.
Yeah,
She's still in the
she
prime of her
only
career
needs
too.
two
Yeah.
more.
She's still in the prime of her career. Like, I mean, I think it's bound to happen at some point. I don't know though. I guess I can understand why they would do it if they were to do it. Because obviously, you know, she's a Flair and everything, and, you know, obviously, I mean, it just stays in the family legacy, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of bound to happen at some point. I don't really care either. Kind of like Mary and Maddie feel like I don't really care for it. Like, if it happens, it happens. I wouldn't be against it, but I'm not for it either, you know, at this point. Like, it's just there to happen. So I don't know. It does, because she's at 14, so it's like, because she's in the prime of her career, how many titles is she gonna get? Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's still, depending on, I don't know how long she wants to wrestle, but I mean, depending on, say she wants to go another 10 years, like, we're talking, could be talking 10 more title reigns for all we know. Like, that's
Please no.
No, yeah.
that's That's number 24. Like,
Oh.
so I don't know. Maybe it's bound to happen at some point. I feel like maybe she's definitely gonna get it at some point. I think it's just, I would just say, if it doesn't happen at this point, honestly, I might be shocked. Honestly, if it doesn't happen at this point. So because she's so close, she's already right there at the meter. You know what I mean? So
I'd be shocked if she doesn't match it, but
Yeah.
beating it, I don't know.
This one right here, this is a good question. Who is a superstar that never won a world title that you think should have? I did start with my answer. My answer would have been Mr. Perfect. Don't understand why he never was the champion back in the day, like, especially back in his era, one of the best wrestlers of his modern day era. I feel like Mr. Perfect would have made a great heel world champion for the Golden Age and New Generation era. So definitely think Mr. Perfect was somebody who would have been a great world champion. Like, how can you have somebody named Mr. Perfect and not be the champion? Like, his name is perfect. Like, he does everything perfect. So how could he not be the world champion? Like, that to me, I never understood. So I would say Mr. Perfect for me.
Yeah.
Mary, what about you?
So I had to brainstorm with my brother on this one, because I don't know everyone who was ever won a title or hasn't won a title. And he brought up R-Truth. And for me, that is so unjust if R-Truth has never won a WWE championship. Because I don't think he has.
He has not.
And that's criminal to me. He's so good. He's athletic. He has presence. And the fact that like in his prime, he never won one. And obviously like now I feel like it's too late, but I think R-Truth should have won one.
R-Truth. Maybe heel Truth when he was little Jimmy stuff. You know, he was having some feuds with the title then against Cena. So, Maddie, what about you? What do you got?
This was kind of hard for me, but I said Cesaro. When he was in WWE, now he's in AEW, but I just feel like it would have been such a great world champion. Like maybe not the strongest in terms of like promos, like Roman and The Miz, whatever. But at the same time, like he's obviously got the talent to hold it up. And someone I would like to see win a world title eventually is Ricochet. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cesaro, I think because of the promo skills that he lacks, just wasn't able. And they tried to put him with Paul Heyman and stuff too, and that didn't work either. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess they never really. Obviously, wrestling wise, he's a phenomenal wrestler. You know what I mean? He's great in the ring, but I definitely think that was unfair to him because there are other people who are not great at promos either who won championships. Like, you know, but they've always had somebody, I guess, that meshed with them that, like, Brock had Paul Heyman. You know what I mean? Like MVP was with Bobby Lashley when he was champion. You know what I mean? So Cesaro just never had that. You know what I mean? I don't think they trusted him to be the champion and go out there and tell stories while cutting, you know, promos on the mic and everything. So it's unfortunate for him. But I definitely think Cesaro would have made a good. I thought honestly when he won the Andre Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30, like I thought that was going to be a big because that was the first Andre Battle Royal they did, so it was kind of a big deal at the time. And when he picked up Big Show and threw him over, I was like, oh, they may do something with him. You don't know. Like it seemed like they were going to do something with him, and then they put him with Heyman after the next night. So I was like, oh shit, like they really going to do something with Cesaro? Nothing. Nothing came out of it. Some people said Owen Hart. That's a good answer. Matt Hardy as champion. Okay,
Matt Hardy is a great answer.
Somebody said Jake the Snake, Roddy Piper. Those are good answers too, right there.
Yeah.
People who never been champion. This question right here. These are all questions from Instagram, by the way. So if you guys want to follow Instagram, Meet Us in the Ring or Narcolepsy Boy 94's Instagram. For next time we do Q&As, you guys can be a part of some of these questions. What do you think is more important, Cody getting the big moment or Roman reaching 1,000 days as champion? What do you guys think?
I think Cody getting his big moment is more important because when you think about it, even if Roman doesn't hit 1,000 days, he doesn't lose anything. Like he's already had probably like the greatest, one of maybe the greatest title runs of all time. Yeah. I feel like him not hitting 1,000, like that's not going to hurt him. But if Cody loses, I feel like that's a lot of momentum kind of down the toilet. It's hard to come back from something like that. So I think Cody getting his big moment is much more important.
I agree. I also put Cody getting his moment because, I mean, this is something that has been years in the making of him proving that he can be that top guy, going to AEW and getting validation there that he can do it. And I think that's so much more important than Roman hitting 1,000 days. Like if he does, if he doesn't, it doesn't really matter. He's going down in history as one of the greatest champions of all time. So, you know, and the days is just a number, really, in my opinion. Like the New Day, you know, they had the longest reigning tag team championships. That got broken. But like no one's gonna take that away from them that they were champions for a long time. Right. So I think Cody's moment is more important.
I think history though is important for many reasons though. Like when you have a chance to create history or do history, it's hard to go against. I mean, that's what makes records, you know, so fun because, you know, like, you know, LeBron just passed up Kareem to become the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, but that was a record that people never thought would be touched. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's just history right there in the making. For Roman to possibly get to 1,000 days, I mean, nobody in this modern era has ever seen a champion even come close to that. You know what I mean? And if Roman were to lose at WrestleMania and not get to 1,000, we'll probably never see another champion ever hold the championship for as long as he did. You know what I mean? Especially in this modern day era. I mean, the last superstar to hold a championship for that long was Hulk Hogan, and this was in the 80s. So none of us were either alive or we were just like babies at that time. You know what I mean? So this is a chance to create history. I feel like there are ways you can lose and still bounce back and be fine in the future. Like, Daniel Bryan, I think, is the perfect example. Like him beating Cena at SummerSlam, getting the title, but then having the moment snatched away from him by Triple H and Randy Orton right away. And that built up for a great story leading all the way up to WrestleMania, which we got WrestleMania. So that was the perfect build up. So if there was a way for Cody to lose that could make sense for him, because obviously, like you said, the momentum is still there right now. You still want the crowd reaction, and you still have to have the moments of where he wins the championship. People still want to see it. So he would have to lose in a way for it to make sense where he would be able to come back to the title later on and people still want to see it. And that's just like a betting stuff. Like you get to bet on that. You know what I mean? There's really no guarantee that'll happen, but it's a betting thing. But I honestly would say the Roman thing. Just because they pushed it this far, like I don't know when the next time you'll see somebody get this far as a champion, honestly. Like when he first won the championship, obviously nobody would ever predicted that, he would hold it this long. But I mean, if you look at the year 2021, for me, once he beat John Cena at SummerSlam, I kind of got the sense right there, like, oh, they really he might be champion for a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was, well, to backtrack, it was even before that. I got to go to WrestleMania because I thought Edge was winning the title at WrestleMania 37 because of the story because of the story they built up for him and him winning the Rumble, coming in number one, like literally 10 years to the exact day that he had to give up the world title. So I'm like, oh, Edge just won. Like, it's a perfect story for Edge to get one more title run. But when he took Edge and put him on top of Daniel Bryan and pinned them both, like he said in his promos, I was like, oh, like Roman Reigns is like that's to me when Roman became the guy. Like, oh, he's the guy now. Like he's now the guy. And now I'm thinking like, oh, he's gonna have a lengthy title run. But when he beat Cena at SummerSlam, I'm like, oh, he might be champion for a while, like sometime. Now I don't know about 2 years after that. I couldn't predict that, but I just feel like because they've gotten this far, like moments come and go for a lot of people, but to make history, that's just moments you can't do that all the time in wrestling, especially in this era. Like to push a champion like Roman in this era and for it to work with the stories and everything, that's really like a gamble because we're out of the era of the Hulk Hogan era where you could push a champion for 4 years and people still like it. Like Hulk Hogan was champion for 4 years and people didn't care because they loved Hulk Hogan so much. But in this era, people get tired of everything so fast. You can be champion for 2 months and people want to see a new champion. So
shout out to Liv.
Yeah. So
yeah.
For him to be champion this long, for him to be good the way he's done it and the stories that have been there, like I think it's hard to deny. Like the 1,000 days, I'm just saying this for in general. It could be anybody in Roman's spot. It could have been Seth Rollins, could have been anybody. But if you're that close, I think why not? Like you're already at 900-something days. Like we'll probably never see somebody ever get this close ever again to something like this. And there could be, if it's not Cody, there could be multiple people in the future that we don't even know about. Like I said, look back 2 years ago. We didn't know Cody Rhodes was coming back, so we didn't even think that was a possibility for him to go against. You know what I mean? So there's always people that can pop up that you don't know who can get over. Like 6 months from now, Braun Breaker could be the hottest thing in wrestling for all we know. Like you never know who's going to be hot 6 months from now. Like,
I don't know. The fans are already turning on him.
I'm just saying in general. Like it could be anybody in general. It could be Gunther 6 months from now. It could be. Who knows? It could be anybody 6 months from now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows who's going to be big. Look at this time last year. Like Sami Zayn wasn't as popular as he was around this time WrestleMania as he was last year. And then look at him now. He's the hottest thing, one of the hottest things in wrestling. So you never know who's going to get over and who's not going to be over. So I just think for that to happen, like for somebody to possibly get 1,000 days as champion is unheard of. Like in this era, like I can't think of one person that I can remember in this era. Not even just in WWE, but in general, that got to 1,000 days as champion. So I think it's something that they would have to consider as far as the big moments. Next one, speaking of more moments, what are some of your favorite WrestleMania moments of all time? Some of your favorite Mania moments since we're in the Mania season. Maddie, you want to start?
I mean, obviously, like the first thing that comes to mind is Bianca's redemption, Bianca and Sasha being the first two Black women to main event WrestleMania. Exactly. Honestly, Ronda and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Steph. I loved that match. That was just a really cool moment, as well as being Ronda's debut. I don't know. It's obviously Kofi Mania. It's one of my favorites. Probably definitely up there. And Johnny Knoxville winning. That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Mary, what about you? What do you have?
So two of them I'm really biased towards because I was there when they happened. So one is seeing Seth Rollins cash in his Money in the Bank
Oh yeah,
at WrestleMania.
I forgot.
That place erupted, and it was so cool being a part of that moment in WWE history. And then the other one is seeing the Hardy Boys return at WrestleMania 33. That place went off, and it was so cool. And I loved the Hardys when I was young. Like I was Team Extreme all the way. So seeing that was so incredible for me. And then I have to agree with Sasha and Bianca because that was an iconic moment. And it's sad that it took that long for us to get there, but we got there.
I would say the one that sticks out for me, I'm going old school, but Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth at WrestleMania 7, the reuniting. Like, if you've never seen that moment, you got to go back. Fans were literally crying in the crowd. Like, when Miss Elizabeth, first off, the most story, the Macho Man had turned heel during the Mega Powers feud, and he turned into the Macho King, aligned himself with Sensational Sherry, which she was like the ultimate heel manager for the women. And then he left Miss Elizabeth, and then at WrestleMania 7, it was Ultimate Warrior Macho Man, career versus career. Macho Man lost to the Ultimate Warrior. His career was over, and literally Sensational Sherry turned on the Macho Man right after. Miss Elizabeth comes from the crowd in the audience, runs into the ring to save the Macho Man, and they literally locked eyes, hugged, and the fans were like literally in tears. Like the people were literally in tears. It was like a beautiful storytelling moment right there. Like that's wrestling storytelling at its peak right there for me. So I would say that. Another one that probably stood that Kofi Mania is up there. Kofi Mania is in there as far as big moments. We'll put that up there as well. The Hardy Boys return was pretty epic. That was pretty cool to see. So I would say those ones for me right there. I don't know if you guys play video games, so this was a question somebody asked. But favorite WWE video game of all time that you have played? For mine, my answer probably will never change. Mine is SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. I spent way too much time on the game. I'll say that. With too much unhealthy time playing that game. Literally would come home sometimes and not leave the house until the next day because I'm playing that game all day. So SVR 07 for me it's pretty hard to beat that. I mean, the last 2K games, 2K is coming. The new game is coming out tomorrow for the pre-orders. And obviously 2002, not 2000, but to 2K22 last year was really good, I thought. But it's gonna be hard to top SmackDown versus Raw for me, 2007. So I'm gonna have to, that's always my answer until something more elite is able to top that. I don't know if you got any answers, Mary. You got one?
I mean, for me, the only game that I have is the Battleground for my Switch.
Oh gosh, Battleground.
That's like the only WWE game I've ever played. So, I mean, I guess by default that would be my answer, just because I didn't really play them growing up because like, you know, that time in my childhood when I was playing video games, like if I wasn't watching wrestling at that time because I was like in my kind of break from watching wrestling. So I didn't really play any WWE games like that. So I guess Battleground.
I've actually never.
I don't have a video game set up, so I don't have an answer.
Sorry, guys. I know.
You guys gotta get hit into the games, man. You gotta get
I wish I did. I will eventually.
Next one. Who do you want to see become WWE champion this year, minus Cody or Roman? So now that those two are going to be champion, who do you want to see become champion this year?
Maddie, do you want to go first?
I don't know if she has
yeah, no, I have to pull it up. Hold on, you go first.
Well, for me, I mean, it's a long shot, but he's doing some fun stuff right now, and I would love to see him win a world title. You know, even if it's not this year. But Mustafa Ali, I think he's just so good.
Yeah, Ali's a good one though. Ali is a good one. For me, I'm gonna say Gunther. For me, Gunther would be my answer. I definitely think he's going to be the champion eventually at some point. So,
yeah, I feel like that's inevitable.
I would say Gunther. I think he's ready this year. Honestly, if they wanted to give it to him, I love his reign as IC champion. So, I would love to see Gunther get the IC title. If I'm picking one of my personal favorites, though, I would pick Braun Strowman because I'm a big Braun Strowman guy. But that ain't gonna happen. So. Maddie, what about you?
I said LA Knight. I'm loving what he's doing right now. He's just
LA Knight
he's
is cool.
just so great. I feel like he would be such a
So what
great
you got
champion.
against LA Knight? You don't like LA Knight?
I find his annoying.
It's so
Oh,
fun.
I
Let me
don't
talk
like it.
to ya.
My husband hates his like music because he's not actually from LA. Like I get that LA Knight like trained in LA, but like he's not actually from there, and so him having that like California kind of synthesize on the beat, like he hates it so much. But
Carmella's
I don't know.
not from Staten Island.
I just find him, that's true. I wish they would have just like when she came back put her as from where is she from, Boston or something?
Boston,
Yeah,
I
something
think,
like that. Yeah.
I wish they would have just said that instead of having her be
Stupid.
Staten Island again. But I digress. I find his promos annoying.
Oh, I love LA Knight.
LA
I'd
Knight's
love
the
to see him
man.
win Money in the Bank.
I'd be cool with nah, because I want to see.
Yeah.
I gotta see.
Oh
Finale.
yeah. I would love to see
Dom, Mr. Money in the Bank. I'm just kidding.
This one right here. Name an overrated WWE theme song that is popular that you don't like. So an overrated WWE theme song that is popular that you don't like. Mine would be King of Kings. I don't like that song at all. I'm not gonna lie. Never liked King of Kings. Maybe his worst theme. The game theme is better. My Time is better. Evolution theme is better. Any DX, all his themes are better than King. King Kings is just like, I don't know. It just don't hit for me. So King of Kings would be mine. Either one of you want to go?
For me, Malik, you're not gonna like this, but Batista's theme. Okay. I don't care for it. I don't.
I don't understand this, Batista's.
It does nothing for me.
Have people listened to that song? Like, have we all listened to that song?
Yes.
Like, listen to it.
It just does nothing.
We heard it. Are we sure we're talking about the same thing?
Yes.
Saliva, Walk Alone. Are we sure?
Yes.
Oh, God, this is crazy.
To me, it's overrated.
I don't understand this Batista. I don't understand it.
Sorry, not sorry.
Matt, what about you?
Oh, this is a hot take, and I feel like I'm preparing myself for what's coming my way, but I said Rebel Heart by Johnny Gargano.
Oh, golly, that is crazy.
I really tried to like it, and like I get why people like it, but for me, it always sounded like some childish like theme that from like a cartoon I'd watch when I was 7. I don't like the remix.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, the remix I don't like.
I like the original way better.
Okay. The remix is okay. It's just not Rebel Heart.
I like the original way better than the remix, but like I don't know. I just never got into it.
It sounds like it should be on like an anime.
Yes, exactly.
But I like it though.
It's cool. It's a great song.
It's a good song. It's a goodie.
People feel that emotion when that come out, man.
I would also say Roman Reigns because it sounds like I feel like I'm in church whenever I hear that song.
Roman Reigns theme is exactly. You know why? Because it sounds like a god's coming out when his music is.
Why?
Right in the beginning. Right in the beginning. Right in the beginning, it sounds like a god's coming out. That's exactly what happens. Roman Reigns appears, God mode. That is exactly what happens. So yes. This one right here. WWE moment that pissed you off. What is a moment in WWE happened that pissed you off? Name one moment. I already got mine on top of my head, so what's yours?
Maddie, go first.
I mean, this is so odd. I feel like knowing me, everyone knows I'm gonna say Bianca losing in 26 seconds. Total bullshit. I can't even speak about that. Even though she got her redemption and it felt like it was all worth it in the end, I still feel like it could have been done better to where not everyone's going to remember it. Honorable mention: Brock beating Kofi in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was rough too.
Someone said winning inside.
For me, one of them is Charlotte coming back after 9 months and winning the title. That's more
would you rather have that or the Ronda continue to be champion though?
You're right.
Ronda.
Another one is talking about Ronda. Her coming out after Asuka won the Royal Rumble and taking that moment from her. I was so pissed off.
I don't think that takes the moment away though.
It did though, because then all the headlines were about her instead of Asuka.
But like Asuka still was going to WrestleMania. Like it was still a big
But
it was a big thing because Ronda had showed up.
But it was the first women's Royal Rumble, and then Asuka won, and then her moment is immediately gone when Ronda's music hit. And then
Is that
Ronda
like the
comes out, points at the sign, and then leaves. And then it's like, why did we do that? Why didn't she
That
just
was
come
the
out on
first
Raw?
time that Ronda showed up in WWE, right?
Right, yeah,
Well,
That was like her
for
debut.
her official, yeah, like debut.
that was her debut,
Okay.
her big day, which
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know if you guys were reading dirt sheets, but that was kind of already like rumored that she was kind of coming to WWE.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People had been speculating because some people thought she might have beat like in the actual Rumble match. So some people were kind of like speculating, which her not being in the match makes sense because if she was in the match, she would have had to win and she wouldn't have been ready for that moment right there. So
Yeah.
I don't think it takes away from the moment. Obviously, WWE wanted the headlines, and Asuka not gonna get. I know if it's not Asuka not gonna get the headlines like Ronda Rousey is because Ronda Rousey is known worldwide by everybody.
But then why choose her to win? You know what I mean? If they weren't
because
banking
Asuka
on
was
her.
undefeated at that time, so her winning was the right choice. That Ronda just showed up, letting everybody know that she was here and that she had arrived because she didn't even go after the champions at
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
but she could have came out on Raw. And then one that's just like, it's not so much pissing me off. It was just like really kind of annoying was James Ellsworth helping Carmella win the Money in the Bank contract by going and grabbing it.
Yeah,
That was so annoying because again, the first women's Money in the Bank match and it was taken over by somebody else.
And they
By
had
a
to
man.
they had to redo it too. They did it again on
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Because they knew they messed up, so they had to redo it.
A man.
I'll just give one answer. My answer will never change. The Seth Rollins and Fiend Hell in a Cell match. That is the worst
Oh,
booking.
God.
I think
That's
it might
a
be the worst
great answer.
I think I've ever seen. Might be the worst booking decision I've ever seen in my life. Like I don't understand it. It's a Hell in a Cell match. How do you have a Hell in a Cell and no DQ match? It makes no sense. No rules go. Seth Rollins taking the sledgehammer and that like he's allowed to do that in Hell in a Cell. He can do that in a Hell in a Cell match. It's legal and they stopped the match. It killed Seth Rollins, the babyface. They had to completely turn him heel after that one, and overbooked the Fiend, making him look like some unstoppable mythical creature. You know what I mean? Like that was stupid too. So that definitely would be my answer. That I never understood that. I never will understand
Valid.
it.
Very valid.
Who is a wrestler you will always defend, always go to bat for, no matter what? Wrestler you will always defend.
I feel like I know both your answers.
Y'all know. Y'all already know.
I'm gonna
John
guess
Cena.
Nikki
Okay,
Bella
Maddie.
and Roman Reigns.
Oh, Roman Reigns is one too, but if
meant the opposite, but
I mean, Roman Reigns is one of them now. Roman Reigns is one of them now, but I mean, obviously, it's John Cena for sure. John Cena.
Okay, valid. I would say for me, Bianca Belair. Obvi.
Yeah. Nikki Bella,
Sorry,
obviously, for me.
Forever.
Forever. Nikki and Alexa Bliss and Lita.
I'm only gonna say I say Roman Reigns now because he's improved. Like in the beginning, I liked Roman during the big dog, but there were obviously things he needed to work on and improve on to become the face of the company, and obviously the company needed to push him in a different direction. So, but John Cena, since the hate of John Cena, everybody like John Cena now. I'm talking about since the hate of John Cena. No, I've always had John Cena's back. I never gonna turn on John Cena. So, John Cena will always be my answer. So. Let's see. A wrestler you like that is overhated. Who's a wrestler that you think is overhated that you like? No, that would be Roman Reigns for me.
He's not overhated.
Oh, he definitely.
I'll represent me and Axel on this one. Theory, A-Town Down. I think he's overhated, and I'll admit I was one of those people who did not like him. But now I think he has kind of proven himself enough to where like people are still hating him just because of his character, but like that's the point. But I think he's overhated and people say that he's not good, and I'm like, that's a lie.
Yeah. Also, Theory's always been good since Evolve, though. If you go back and watch stuff in Evolve wrestling, he's always had potential. He's always been good. Definitely,
so I think he's overhated right now.
He definitely is overhated. I think with Theory though, he has to thrive more on. I feel like if you're going to be pushed as the guy or one of the guys, you have to excel in the big moments. And what John Cena did to him on Raw, you can't let that happen. Like in the middle of the ring, like you got to find ways to come with receipts. Because John Cena did the same thing to Roman Reigns. He's Cena's at the point where he can say what he wants because he's who he is. So he's going to expose people and say the flaws that people want to say, like when he said the background noise, like nobody else gonna say that except him because he can say that, you know what I mean? So I feel like you test people like that on the fly to see if you're ready for the moments. And Roman Reigns froze in that moment, so that's why John Cena had to rip him apart and expose him. Theory didn't really thrive in that moment because he didn't have any receipts. He didn't say anything. So you got to have, when you become that guy, and Theory's not bad on the mic either. He's good on the mic. So you have to be able to excel and embrace that moment when it happens. Even if it may be a surprise to you, you got to know how to, the best superstars that we see can go out there and go toe to toe and head to head. Look at, I don't know if you guys saw the little A documentary with Cena and Rock, like the little rivalry that they had. But if you go back and look at the feuds, like whenever The Rock would say something, Cena would be ready and say something. Whenever Cena would say something, The Rock would be ready. Like they're you're not going to outmatch me. And in the, like, you may have moments where like you may say something in the ring that can get a little ooh and ah, but when it comes down to it, like, that The Rock can match Cena on the mic, and Cena can match The Rock on the mic. Like, they're equal in the promo battles. Like, when, I don't know if you saw the clip, but there was a little clip they showed in the documentary where The Rock had his promo like written on his lip, and Cena saw that and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna say something when I get out there about that." And that's like stuff like there, like that's what makes this kind of makes you gotta kind of elevate you like that. Like that gives you, that shows that you got a lot of balls doing something like that, especially against The Rock. You know what I mean? So Theory, next promo battle, I want to see Theory, like, he got to say something. He got to lay in. He got to lay it in. He got to go out there and let everybody know, like, why he the future, like, why he's next in line. Because obviously he's going to win at WrestleMania. So winning at WrestleMania is one thing. Cool, he get that moment. But leading up to that moment, I feel like you got to get people to buy in to what you're doing leading into that moment. That way, when you beat Cena at WrestleMania, people can see it like, oh, yeah, I see it. Like, because like when Roman beat Cena the first time at No Mercy, I feel like we all knew that Roman was going to be pushed to the guy, but people still weren't buying into Roman. But when he beat Cena at SummerSlam, now people know they're buying into Roman now because of the push that he's getting. So now people know that Roman he's there. So that's the only thing I want to see from him. Because Theory, him versus Cena, like, this ain't going to be the first big matchup he has. He's going to have to face probably Roman eventually at some point. Maybe him and, and some other, like, Randy Orton if he comes back, some of the legends, maybe him and, Edge, even though they had a little match, but, like, Edge can go in the promos too. So, like, I feel like that's what I want to see more out of Theory. Like, he needs to excel and dive deeper into the promo. Like, I want to see him take shots. Like, why not taking shots at you? You gotta be back at it. So, but Theory is a really good answer, though. I definitely think he's overrated too, because a lot of people, I feel like, because of his Money in the Bank win, I feel like because he was a Vince guy, people turned on him. Because, oh, here's another Vince guy. Like, Vince likes him.
He's gonna be even more hated after he beats John.
But it's like, if you really look at all the Vince guys, are they ever really bad? Like, is Roman Reigns bad, or is he not really that guy now? Is Austin Theory not good? Like, was John Cena not good? Was Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, were all those guys not good? So it's like, just because you're the Vince guy doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't make you bad. So
yeah.
Maddie, who's yours? Who do you have for yours?
I said Shayna Baszler. I've seen a lot of people saying that she should be fired, and that's been pissing me off.
That's extreme.
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't mind her pairing with Ronda, but I don't like how she's being like showcased as Ronda's lackey. Like, make them the equals that I think they are. Or
and we both mentioned this.
Music anymore.
That's what I'm saying. We both mentioned this on TikTok. Why is Shayna coming out to Ronda's music? It makes no sense. And they did the same thing with.
It's a good song. That's why.
But if Shayna's the one in the match, it needs to be her song. Same with Tegan Nox. She was coming out to Natty's music, and I'm like, let's not.
I just feel like I think it's just hard to get Shayna Baszler back up to the Ronda level at this point. Like, she's not NXT Shayna Baszler anymore. Like, when Shayna Baszler was NXT Shayna Baszler, she was a killer. So yeah, they were equal, but they're not pushing her to be that anymore. I don't think. I think it's not happening anymore for her. I feel like, and I wish it will. And maybe it still can, but if Shayna was on that Ronda level and they were a team, they would be dangerous right now. But Ronda's a badass. Shayna's a badass too, but Ronda just has the more credibility than Shayna did because of who she is. So Shayna, I just feel like they have to find ways to maybe try to get her back to that killer. And I hope they can find ways to do it, but I don't know. I just feel like it may be a little bit too late. You know what I mean? When they didn't capitalize on it in 2020. 2020 was the year to continue to push it. Who do you want to see win Money in the Bank this year for men and women? Who do you got? Mario, let's start with you. Who do you got?
For me, Ricochet. I would love to see him. I would love to see him with the briefcase.
What about the women? For men and women?
For women, That one's a lot harder. I think if they put it on Chelsea Green, I think that would help her a lot. And she's already paired with Carmella, who is a former Money in the Bank winner. Or Sonya Deville. I would love to see Sonya Deville with the briefcase. She would do great to work with that.
For the men, I kind of already said it, but Finn Balor for the men. I definitely think it's time for him to get his world title push on the main roster that he never got. And for the women, Shayna Baszler or Raquel, I would say for the women's. Raquel or Shayna Baszler, I think, would be the two best options for the women. You gotta get somebody who's gonna need it more. Like, you don't want to see like a Bianca, Becky, Charlotte.
Yeah, no.
These people don't need that. Like, you got to give it to somebody who has never been the champion and can use it to for the future. So I would say Raquel or Shayna.
I agree with the women. I would say Raquel or Shayna too. As far as the men, as much as I want to say Finn Balor, he's probably like my second pick. I'm leaning towards LA Knight because I feel like that would just be really, really fun. I feel like it would
be a good program.
Who's somebody who you don't want to see win Money in the Bank? Maybe somebody that's getting pushed right now, or somebody that you just feel like just doesn't need it.
Becky Lynch. I feel like they might go. Like, I thought they were gonna go that route last year.
Becky last year, yeah. Becky for you. Becky's a good answer.
I mean, Becky, Bailey, even Alexa. Like, I just don't think. Yeah. I think that it would be kind of wasted on her because she already won it once, didn't she?
Yeah, she won. How would y'all feel? How would y'all feel if Austin Theory won it again this year?
No,
cash in successfully.
No.
I think we're past that. We're past that point.
Are we though? I don't know. I would be.
I think so.
Are.
I wouldn't be against it, especially if the titles are split up by that time. Because now at that point, Austin Theory can definitely become the champion. So, and I think obviously he doesn't have the selfie gimmick anymore. So when he won the Money in the Bank last year, I feel like it was people weren't buying into him yet. Now he's more serious and taken more serious by people. So I would still have Finn Balor, but I wouldn't be against if Austin Theory got it back though. And they did the Money in the Bank briefcase properly the right way this time. Because this would be a Triple H experiment, not a Vince McMahon, Money in the Bank one. So I wouldn't be against it. Somebody I want to see one, I would say like Charlotte, Becky, Bianca too. I would want to see that. For the men, probably like somebody who wouldn't need it for the men, like Seth Rollins, somebody like that. I would want to see somebody like that one. Somebody who could benefit more from it, later on for the future. So
yeah.
You gonna say something else, Mary? You have another one?
Well, I was gonna say someone else. I guess that I would like to see win it is Montez. I think he could do. He could do good with that.
Montez Ford, not against. This one right here. Thoughts on Logan Paul's potential in wrestling?
So yeah.
No, thoughts on Logan Paul's honest thoughts. All right, I'll go last. Because you got from the Logan Paul, so I'll let the two ladies take it first. Thoughts on his potential in wrestling, as far as I guess what this person asking, as far as how he could go in wrestling, or what the sky is the limit for him in wrestling, I guess you could say.
I feel like at this point, everyone knows how me and Maddie feel about him. But he's athletic and obviously can put on good matches. Do I think that he'll ever be a full timer? No. Does he need to be? No. So I don't think this is a situation where he's gonna like be fully part of the roster and stay and travel and do all those things. So I think it's okay for him to pop up for big events and make it a spectacle. But as far as do I want to see him every week?
No, I think I might stop watching. I mean, I'm not gonna act like he's not a good in the ring, because he's so good. Like, I think I said at one point on this podcast that he has a better buckshot than Hangman Adam Page. I don't mind him popping in for a few matches. I'm not gonna pay attention to it, but full time, no. Yeah. And I never want to see a championship on his shoulder, because that is disrespectful.
Me neither.
Maybe the 24/7 side. I wonder if they brought that back.
I feel like I think his potential all just depends on how far he wants to make his potential go. Like how far he wants to take wrestling as far as a career, seriously for him. On not saying a full-time level, but maybe more than what it is being right now. I honestly feel like he could be the biggest heel in wrestling if he really wanted to dedicate to it. People already naturally dislike him, so I feel like if he really wanted to be that, like, I don't know the last heel I saw in wrestling that was a really good heel that people legitimately hated. Not a heel that people like. People love Roman Reigns. People love MJF. Like, these are people that like people love to hate. Dominic may be one right now, but even still, people kind of like him because he's kind of a cool heel. You know what I mean? Because of the whole. I don't know a wrestler I could think of. I can't think of. I can't remember when last time I could think of off the top of my head that a wrestler that was a heel in wrestling that people legitimately disliked because of what they were doing. So I feel like he could definitely be that. You saw the reactions he was getting on Raw. I think he definitely. I think he improved in his promos too. I thought his promos were a little bit better on Raw. I feel like him being a heel is just natural. It just comes off natural. Like when they first brought him in and they're trying to use him as like the face against the men. I was like, why is he like? Why are they pushing him as face? You know, like nobody wants to like him. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is just a natural thing for him. I feel like if he wants to be a big heel in wrestling, I think he could be the biggest heel in the company as far as from the perspective of like people legitimately not wanting to see him succeed by any means. So I definitely think he could be the number one guy. It just depends how far he wants to take his talents, I guess, in wrestling and make it go. Because WWE obviously likes him. He's obviously a money draw. They're going to continue to bring him back as long as he wants to come back. So it would make it. I would make it. I don't know. I think his potential is as far as however he wants his potential to go. It's all up to him, I think, at the end of the day. What's a WWE hot take that you have? So hot take that you got. Maddie, did you write yours down or you want Mary to go first?
Mine's pretty basic. Becky Lynch is overrated.
That is a hot take, though. There's a lot of people love Becky.
I know.
Including...
My
You want to go into detail why you think she's overrated? Go into detail so you can explain.
I just feel like it's kind of the same thing with Charlotte. The title should be earned, opportunities should be earned, and to keep coming back and just winning titles, doing nothing, when you're not even like, when your skills in the ring are good, but they're pretty like just average, and there's so many more women in the back that are just as good, if not more talented and deserving. It irritates me, and I feel like there is not a constant need to be champion, a constant need to be in the spotlight. So I get tired of certain superstars, and not even just Becky, being like shoved down our throats. So period.
And like, this isn't my hot take, but just to add to Maddie's like a hot take, I hate Becky's leg drop. I think it's so ugly. But that's not my hot take. I don't even know if this is necessarily a hot take. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I think that Chad Gable should have been pushed like Kurt Angle. I think he has the talent. I think he has the promo skills, and they really missed the mark when they did that whole like storyline of what's his name, Jordan, being Kurt Angle's son instead of Chad. That was so annoying because it was right there. It was right there, and they didn't do it. And I think he should have been the same. I think he should have been propelled the same as Kurt Angle.
Mary, do not look at the comments.
Why are people roasting me?
Hot take, oh, no. Nikita is a horrible wrestler. The Bellas are the worst thing in wrestling.
See, Mia. Chill out. Dolph is done.
Dolph is not done.
Yeah, he pretty much is, though.
Mia, I don't know if you follow me on TikTok, but I'm going to block you.
I mean, actually, I think the person saying Dolph is done as far as like getting pushed, like getting a push.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, as far as wrestling though, but like as far as Dolph being as big as he was, yeah, I doubt.
Well, you never know. I mean, Sami Zayn went from losing to Johnny Knoxville to being the biggest thing in wrestling the next year. So crazier things have happened.
But the difference is Sami Zayn was being featured in important things. Dolph Ziggler is not featured in anything important. He's not any storylines that nobody cares about, really. He hasn't had a big moment, and he's not even going to be on WrestleMania this year. So, like, it's probably done for him. It's probably done for him. For me, hot take. Let me think. What do I got? Hot take. WWE never turning John Cena heel was the right thing. John Cena should have never been heel at all during his prime. Don't think he ever needed it. Would it have been cool to see? Sure, could have been cool to see for the aspects as far as like what he could do as a bad guy and everything. But there are certain things that are more important outside of wrestling, and Cena's impact is way too big, and not everybody can fill those shoes. I know some people think, well, you could just put Daniel Bryan in there or some other people in there, but they're not as big as Cena when it comes to outside of ring stuff. Like John Cena has more Make-A-Wishes than any celebrity for a reason. Not even just WWE. We're talking about celebrities in general. Like, so many people look up and aspire to be like this guy. So for him to turn heel, it's literally it's easy to do and say, but when you do it, you got to realize the sacrifice you're making. Like all these people that look up to him, and like some people obviously don't understand wrestling because they're kids and everything, so they don't understand like what wrestling fully is to the full scale. So it would have been cool to see from that aspect. Like seeing Cena Hill would have been cool to see as far as like his character work and what he could have done and who he could have worked with and everything. But from an important standpoint, him turning heel was the right thing. Never turning heel was the right thing for him, I think. I mean,
Agreed.
His career turned out just fine. So,
should we end with this next one?
Yeah, there's just we only got two more left.
Yeah, we can finish the two.
We're good. Okay, great.
Name 5 superstars who were from the Diva era that would excel in this women's division right now. Mary, I'll let you go. So
for me, AJ Lee, she would thrive in our current climate. Beth Phoenix, we saw her match, and her and Rhea was amazing, and she can hold her own with the women of today. I think 2018, Nikki and Brie, I think they could have done well right now. They definitely could have held those tag titles for a long time. And then Melina, I think she would have thrived if she debuted like today.
That's a good answer too. Melina's a good answer. I like that.
Yeah. I said a lot of the same, actually. I said AJ Lee. I said Michelle McCool, because we all saw Michelle McCool in Uggs in the Royal Rumble. That killed it. Melina, I said. And then I did kind of struggle in the last two. Beth Phoenix, I did say. And that's right. I actually said Maurice, and I feel like that's maybe a bit debatable. I don't know. I feel like Maurice would be pretty fun. I feel like she could at least do something, some kind of manager role, or she could be in the ring, whatever works. But I think Maurice would do well.
Yeah.
Maurice.
I don't mind it.
No, I mean,
I couldn't really think of anyone else, to be honest. I was gonna say Layla, but then I was like, meh.
Layla was cool though. She actually was. I did actually like Layla. I don't know her about her being like thriving this era, getting like a big major push. But Layla actually I thought was pretty good, especially in the whole tag team with Laycool and everything. Like, Laycool was ahead of its time as far as like being a group, because there obviously were no women's tag titles back in that era. So it's unfortunate for them that there were no like titles that they could have. But I mean, I have the obvious ones. Trish and Lita, I think, would be phenomenal in this era of women's wrestling. I said Eve Torres is one of mine. I thought Eve Torres was really good for her time. Beth Phoenix is another one that I had, and Michelle McCool was my other one as well. I mean, obviously they've come back and done things in the Rumble, so they've already shown that they have the in-ring talent perspective, and they both can cut promos too. So I think they would be really good at in this era today. I think they could thrive a lot. I would love to see them at least come back just for a little like push. Like have Michelle McCool do like a singles match. She hasn't come back for like any big match besides the Rumble, you know what I mean? So I would love to see her come back and work with somebody, So last one we have, name your Mount Rushmore of WWE superstars. Your WWE Mount Rushmore.
Mine has changed multiple times, and it'll probably continue to change.
Oh, really?
Even though that's kind of against a Mount Rushmore type thing. But
I mean, it's hard because there are other people that continue, I think, to excel and get up there too. So
yeah. For me, The Rock, Stone Cold are always the two staples, and then the other two I kind of like switch in and out for other people. But right now, I feel Triple H. I think he's a cornerstone piece of WWE at this point, and Rey Mysterio. He's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. I'm so excited. And for me, he's one of the GOATs.
I knew you were going to have Rey Mysterio on there. I was like, she's going to have Rey
Mysterio. I mean, you know, San Diego represent. I can't.
Maddie, what about you? Who's on your Rushmore?
I said John Cena, The Rock, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels.
Oh, Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
collective history makers, and
one. Yeah, that's a good one.
kind of speaks for itself.
Mine. I don't think a lot of people are gonna like mine, but
No.
I have to. I have to put my biases aside and think. I think realistically what my Rushmore is. So Hulk Hogan is on there. His importance is too important. Undertaker is on mine. Stone Cold and John Cena. Those are mine. Hulk Hogan's importance is too big
He is.
without
of
him
course.
in his era. WWE probably actually they would have never succeeded through that era without Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So, Undertaker, greatest character of all time. His longevity, I think, is unmatched. Stone Cold is the biggest draw in WWE history, and John Cena, I think, probably had the best run of any superstar as the guy on top, 10 years consistently without changing his gimmick one time throughout that entire time, and always remained to stay the most important and most relevant superstar on the roster. So that definitely is not easy and probably will never be done again. I feel like so.
Yeah.
No.
That would be mine. The Rock and Shawn Michaels are close to being on there too for me. They're neck and neck for like the fifth spot. But that would personally be mine. I feel like that would have to be mine. What about yours? For you guys want to do women's one too? Do you guys want for women's?
I didn't write them
Okay.
down, but I could probably say them off the fly.
Yeah.
Lita, obviously. Trish, obviously. And then the last two spots, Nikki was the face of the Divas division, the Divas era, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She was the face. Don't even play. And then I don't know who I would put in that fourth spot. Probably China.
China's a good one. Maddie, what about you?
Brainstorm real quick. I'd say Lita, Trish, China, and Charlotte.
Yeah, that'll probably be mine too. Lita, Trish.
Yeah.
If I had to take anybody out for Charlotte, it would be Becky. I think she's probably the biggest draw for the women's division at all. And there's no WrestleMania main event in 35 without Becky Lynch. So with her getting so popular, like it was pretty crazy. Like there's no WrestleMania main event without her name on it. Like Ronda Rousey was the perfect. Yeah. Nobody went to see Charlotte and Ronda in the main event of WrestleMania that year. Like Becky was honestly probably the most over superstar in the company. A lot of people even said she was the face of the company around that time. So her popularity was pretty strong. So I never thought I'd see a woman get that popular, like beloved by so many fans, where they would want to see like them in the main event of a WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So I'll have to put her on there for that's. I think that holds a lot of weight, but I think Charlotte just edges it out as far as just impact and legacy and accomplishments. She has everything. So I would say Charlotte. China, first only woman to be Intercontinental Champion. Trish and Lita are the two goats, so of their era. So their impact is undeniable too. So I would say those. I would say those would be mine. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for coming through. A little Q&A today. We'll be back next week as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Next time we do a Q&A, if you guys want to interact, you can follow my Instagram, Narcolepsy194, or you can follow the Meet Us in the Ring Instagram as well. We will put polls up on Instagram where you guys can write down questions and we will answer them on the podcast for you. So make sure you guys can check it out. Thank you guys for coming through on this episode, and you guys have a great night.
Later, guys.